in part one of the $3,400 LS1 Police Pursuit Camaro, you guys saw me pick it up and pretty much make it something that you could drive on the road. Today, we're gonna be taking the Chrysler Sebring look out of this car because it looks a lot like a Chrysler Sebring. I have headlight housings as well as LED bulbs from Last Fit because they are phenomenal. I have an antenna, some other goodies, and we have to fix some wires under the hood. Let's do the simple stuff first, then we'll fix some wires under the hood, and then we'll put in some new headlight housings and bring this car to life. So first, we're gonna get rid of this old, I think these are like 31 inches long, and replace it with this little bullet. Normally, I don't go for bullets on cars because they look dorky, but for $8 on Amazon, it's gonna match with the wheels and match with the letters we have going on in the back. And it gets rid of this absolute tower of an antenna. Secondly, we have some chrome cutout letters. I'm gonna use a rag with a little bit of cleaner on here. That way we know that they're gonna stick properly. That will look good from afar. Just don't look too close. I'll show it to you outside from like 10 feet away from the car. While we're doing some cosmetics, I also have a little touch-up paint here. And we are just going to touch this up ever so gently on this spot. So we have just finished with the touch-up paint here. Now it is a little bit cold, so it's gonna take forever to dry. I'm gonna try to let it dry inside as of right now, and then maybe hit it with a little emery paper or sandpaper to take out the textured feel of it. Now we are going to pop the hood and solder a couple things back together. The other day when I was under the hood, I noticed this. 2 broken wires, and I recalled back to noticing that we have a check engine light. So I looked at a diagram online and I found out one of the broken wires is to the AC, which doesn't work, and the other one is for an evap relay, which is why we have a check engine light on this car. So in an effort of me losing my good soldering iron, and I cannot find it, I went to Amazon and I bought the cheapest one that they had. I'm going to cut these wires back just a bit, right? We're probably gonna have to add something in between them. So one of them is gonna be green with a stripe on it. I have one of those here. And then I also have a white one for the white one that's broken. We're gonna get to stripping those back a little bit, then we'll heat up our soldering iron, and I'll show you guys what I do under the hood here. First, we're gonna snip the wires and get rid of the ones that we don't need. Next, we are twisting up a portion of this wire, and I don't need too big of a wire, but we're gonna cut a little extra. I'd rather do this the easy way the first time. And next we're gonna strip the ends of both wires. We're gonna strip these ones, twist the ends together, and then put some solder on them. That way the solder sinks through. It's probably gonna be something where I need cameraman's hands, so I will see you guys when this is finished up. You can see this one right here I repaired. It's ugly because I wrapped it in electrical tape after I did it. I really don't want any chance of this getting eaten up. And you can see what I'm doing here. So I wrap the wires together, I solder them, then I put a little piece of heat shrink over top, shrink the heat shrink, and I put electrical tape over the top of that. We have this finished up now. It doesn't look that good, to be honest with you, with all the electrical tape. I just really didn't want any chance that anything was gonna get in there. Now we're gonna see if the check engine light went off, and I'm gonna show you guys the new headlights that we got, as well as the bag of bulbs that Last Fit sent me. New headlight time. I went with a black housing this time instead of the clear housings that I did on the Sierra. They're not too far from stock, they're just darker. And I think they're gonna bring the front end to look just a little bit more sinister compared to the very pale Chrysler Sebring look that this car has as of right now. Now we also have these. These are going to be the marker light housings, which also have a black backing. And these are going to also get rid of that amber look on the car. We also have this right here, which is going to get rid of the red on the side of the car. I am keeping the stock taillights. Call me crazy, I think the stock taillights in this car are beautiful according to how the rest of the car looks. All right, first we have a 10. Thanks, GM, for making this stupid. The one thing you guys aren't going to see me replace right now is going to be the fog lights. I have ordered some fog lights on Amazon because I was originally planning on tinting them yellow, and then I realized that the rear calipers are red, so I'm going to paint the front calipers red, and that means I can't have a yellow fog light or else it's going to look weird. This is going to be the old bulb that we're taking out, and this is what we're replacing it with. This is you right here, see? And then this is the guy she tells you not to worry about. Get it? Because he's like way better. On a real note, this is what's called a switchback LED blinker light. So pretty much, if you can see, it has blinker lights in it. Those are the amber ones. And then it has LEDs in it as well, as you can see all the way around. So this is going to shine like an LED. So it's going to be like an additional daytime running light. And then when it gets to signal, it's going to flash. I use the same ones on the Sierra. You guys will see in just a couple minutes. These are probably my favorite blinkers out right now. And these ones don't hyper flash. The headlights here. They give you a cute little gloves in case you don't have gloves. They give you your headlights, your high and your low beams. And these things are insanely bright. I originally bought these because they have these massive gaskets on them, which is going to cover the gap from the poorly made F-body headlights that they have online. But the adhesive material has already failed. So we're replacing that with this two-sided Gorilla Glue stuff tape that I got from Walmart. Much better. You can see it's not coming off. To be fair, I mean, these are $80 assemblies, so it is what it is, and you get what you pay for. So that roll was about 10 bucks, and we are going to put this back in right now. One is in. There's no arguing that the Chrysler Sebring look is still there, but at least now it's less of a grandpa Sebring and a little bit more of a Pimpin Sebring, and I would say that that is a successful upgrade. We've got the stock on the left and the last fit bulb on the right. It is so much brighter, and I know you can't really tell on camera. It's so much brighter. They definitely don't fit the best. You can see there is some gap on the outer portion of this one and a lot on the inner portion of this one. But from afar, in a parking lot, this is gonna look way better. Now we have the side marker light. We are going to be switching the red one out with the clear one, as I showed you before. And we're also going to be switching to LED. Turn it on so you guys can see it. So that is the old one with a reflector built in, and this is the new one. Now time for some interior lighting. Let's get rid of this stock halogen bulb, which really sucks, and these stock halogen map lights, which also really suck, for some way brighter LEDs. All right. Now we're gonna pop it out with it on. There we go. That one is way better. Let's get to doing some map lights here and get rid of this ugly yellow. It's the next day here, and good thing about next day is you guys didn't have to watch me struggle putting some lights in the front. I had to switch a couple things around, and I tried to make the fitment better on the headlights. Didn't really work. So we are now on the mirror lights. Oh, there's one. And from what I see online, guys say that these lights really suck to replace. What I saw online told me to do one at a time and to not rush it. So I'm going to do 2 at a time and rush it. Oh, maybe not. I believe I saw the trick. You press it in with your fingertip so that you have room. Now we're on to some taillights, and then I have one last goodie for this video. And next video, we're probably gonna be working on that window motor and some other things that I've noticed that I wanna do to this. And hopefully by then, we'll be able to get it into the garage, because I haven't been able to get it to the garage due to the ground being all ice up where I normally work on things. I also made the executive decision to switch these side bulbs to LED while we're here and put the marker light bulb in red that we had for the side here in here instead. That way it's gonna look a little bit cleaner up the side of the car, and it's not gonna look as reflective at night, which I kind of think is gonna be a little cooler. They did tell me that these would fit my car, but when they got in, I saw this crown on the top, and I was like, well, these are a little fancy for a Camaro. And then lastly, this nasty old reverse light bulb. Boom. All right, let's see how they look. That's night and day difference. Now let's do the same thing on this side. Honestly, I really like these reverse light bulbs. I think having LEDs on the outside of the car just brings that like modern aspect to like a 20-year-old car. Especially these on the sides. I'm pretty glad I switched those out, to be honest with you. I think they look way better than the red ones did. Before I finish out the video, I did pick up some cheap floor mats from Walmart for about 20 bucks. I did opt for the ones with the little foot cover thing down here. They're not going to fit perfectly, but they're going to match the interior. Pretty happy with how this car turned out. To be honest with you, these lights are not something that I would buy again, just because they fit horribly. There's a big gap. I had to drill a couple holes because these housings condensate very badly. I kind of expected that with the cheap housings that they are. I'm glad our wire fix under the hood did work. When I filled it up with gas, the check engine light did come back. I believe that to be because it needs a gas cap, because it has some aftermarket locking gas cap that doesn't really tighten down that great. And I'm also very glad with how the last fit bulbs turned out. I bought a lot of LED bulbs online, whether they're Amazon, eBay, from O'Reilly's, any other local parts store. And to be honest with you, the last fit bulbs have been the best quality out of anything I've ever bought, even with my own money. I have bought last fit bulbs before with my own money. I have them in a couple of my other vehicles that I haven't featured on the channel. If you guys want bulbs of your own from last fit, type in JG25 as a promo code. They give you 15% off, and there's no limit. So it's not like, oh, you can only use it on one thing of lights. If you guys have a big order and you're doing your whole truck or your whole car, it's for the whole order. Now let's go for a drive, because I know all of you guys want to see this thing rip a little bit, and I've been wanting to put my foot to the floor of this car ever since I bought it. Wow, we laid some fat black strips right there. She's looking at me like she's disappointed. What do you do when somebody's disappointed in your driving style? That wasn't 100 miles an hour. That was the speed limit. It does cruise pretty nicely, and I've been considering hanging on to it, but I've noticed a recent trend that every time I buy a car as of lately, I fall in love with it and I just hang on to it for a while. And I really need to stop doing that so that I can bring more cool cars to the channel. It needs the exhaust work done to it, of course, but otherwise, I'm really satisfied with this. I'm really happy I bought it, actually. I hope that house doesn't care. Wow. This thing just rips through second gear. I'm honestly really impressed with it. This is dry pavement. I have Michelin's on this thing. I'm pretty impressed. Can't lie.